Let's talk about how to choose the perfect visuals for your website. Hey, everybody, this is Ali Craig for Smart Sites That Sell. And if you're new to the Smart Sites That Sell community, we believe that every single business brand person out there who's going to build a website should not just be building a website. No one needs more information. They should be building a smart site that what? That sells your idea, sells your product, sells your services, sells the relationship that you should be selling through your brand. So here's 5 ways to actually choose the perfect visual for your site. Number 1, you have to understand the mood of the photography or the video. So the mood is really the overall emotion. It's not the feelings that it creates, but it's more the visual side of it. So is it dark and shadowy? Is it super bright and light? And you have to mirror the mood of that visual with the mood of your brand. So if they don't match up, ain't the right visual for you. The second thing you have to look at is the emotion. Now, the emotion is what is brought up when you see it. Just like with great art, people can be moved to tears by looking at a red canvas on the wall with a white dot because there's an emotion behind that piece for that person. So, what does this visual bring up emotionally for you? And also, when you put yourself in the place of your audience, what is going to bring up for them? Now, emotions aren't feelings. You don't necessarily, they may feel sad or they may feel happy, but the emotion is that kind of internal stirring. That's what we're going for here. If it doesn't give you any kind of internal stirring, guess what? Not the right visual. And if it does give you an internal stirring, you need to make sure it's on the right track for where you're going with your brand and your copy. Third, you got to think about the location on your website. Location matters in real estate and it matters on your website. Is it something that's going to be above the fold? So as soon as they log onto your site, no matter which platform they're on, if they're on a desktop, a laptop, a iPad, or their phone, that's the first visual they see. Is it something further down? Is it embedded in copy? Do you need to have something that's really big and bold to re-spark the imagination because it's so far down? Or do you need something just subtle just to help make it flow a little bit better because we're thinking snake flowiness? Fourth, you have to think about the energy. Your visuals are almost as powerful as your verbals, and honestly, your visuals are getting a little more powerful than your verbals. So when you're looking at the way that your site page is flowing, you have to think that the visual isn't just, oh, well, we put a pretty picture in there, but it's actually supporting the copy, and I don't necessarily mean in a literal way, but in an emotional way, so that you're building people up the right way with your copy, so your verbals as well as your visuals, because no one wants that climax that's not so climatic. Lastly, we have to look at the overall context of everything. So those subtle cues. Most people miss the subtle cues on a conscious level, but we all pick up on it on a subconscious level. So it's those details, it's the depth of work, it's the slight little nuances in the body language or how things are positioned, if it's items or people are in a space. All of those subtle details need to be stopped and looked at and realized, because at a quick glance, the photo may look good, but the truth is that if someone's going to your site and scrolling, they're not going to be detailing out the photo, but they are going to be really absorbing it. And so those little details that maybe you don't realize at first glance will be subconsciously picked up on, and therefore people are going to doubt and question and think about that versus thinking about your message. Now, sometimes, by the way, that these little nuances can be an issue with the depth of the photography, meaning that most stock photo, it's meant to look vanilla, so therefore there's no heart and emotion to it. But sometimes it's just even like maybe the positioning of your body. Recently, I had a client and we had this most amazing photo. We're looking at her face and it's great and it's wonderful. And then she came back to me and she said, "Am I missing an arm?" And it's because of the way her angle of her body was that her right shoulder wasn't seen. Like you saw the top, but you didn't see where the arm went to. And it just seemed a little odd. So again, at quick glance, I thought it was an amazing photo. But if your client's looking at it, we don't want them to think, where's your arm? So how in the world do you choose the perfect visuals for your website? One, understand the mood of it. 2, understand the motion that you're trying to create. 3, understand the location and context on your website. 4, understand the energy and the buildup, because we don't want to have, anticlimactic moments here. And 5, we have to understand the overall story, all the little details, the subtle story being told. When we understand all that, you can choose the perfect visuals for your website and for any part of your business and brand. Always make sure that you don't just have a sexy site, but you have a smart site that sells.